a bit proactive. See, Mr. Sheila has spoken about capacity building, lot of schemes, soft intervention, cluster like this. Okay, government have numerous schemes for cluster approach, but unfortunately the cluster approach is not working. It's a fact. So I seek your comment on how to turn the scene. One. Second, whether for this vocational education, NGO or self-help group approach can work. These two questions.
Yes, sir. We were also a little surprised. We don't have the answer. Why is the clustered approach not working? But we have one fact to share with you. The success of China is because of its 100 clusters. Now, what's wrong with it? We can debate what has gone wrong. In fact, your city has the best experience in this before even the government, before even Porter thought of it for Dubai. Ludhiana was, in a sense, a hub for certain industries, in the light engineering. A hub. If you want something of that business, you have to come to Ludhiana. So then somewhere down the line it has failed. I'm not here, I've not done the analysis, but I'm here to state a fact, sir, that cluster is the way to leadership. And that is how we do it. Perhaps the LMA can deliberate, have a separate session, we do a little bit of research, market research, find out what happened. But we could bring back that leadership, that's one. Secondly, self-learning. Are you talking about the IT-based one or?
Whether the NGO, this approach what we are putting adopting the ITIs,
yeah,
or putting some vocational courses by NGOs or making a self-help group, whether it can work?
The issue with the sort of challenges that the question being asked was whether NGOs or self-help groups can address a problem rather than having a formal establishment and institution and a for-profit business. The challenges that we saw in the third industrial revolution that is going to happen are challenges of a knowledge domain which I don't think will be available without foreign collaboration. And there are many people believe digitization, for instance, or even additive manufacturing. In all of those areas, we are way behind, as Vijay said, and textile, we are way behind. I don't think the NGOs or self-help groups would have the wherewithal to be able to command the linkage with foreign bodies. And I think here, one of the differentiators we mentioned was you need foreign, and it's easy. Everybody likes India when compared to China, but everybody is frustrated about India's slow pace. But they will come. So these are the reasons I feel NGOs may not be. Vijay, you want
to add on to that, I would like to bring you back to Ludhiana. Right? I've been very closely associated with this particular market for various reasons. There are case studies here itself. Let's understand that. Now, Ludhiana is today 90% of the woolen production comes from Ludhiana. I'm sure enlightened individuals sitting here must be aware of this. This came from where? See, we have to understand the definition of a cluster in a little different perspective. We are not talking about the clusters as maybe defined by individual governments. I know case studies of Japan. The clusters of small towns were developed at that time. Japan became the king as far as the textile manufacturing was concerned. Ludhiana, bicycle, you talk about, today there might be bigwigs who are riding on the complete thing, but Ludhiana became the bicycle component manufacturing cluster, I may use that word, earlier we used to call it a hub. Likewise, you talk about, when there is a total shift taking place, textile industry, if you see, in specific, had been moving from Calcutta to Kanpur to Ahmedabad to Mumbai to, then it went to Kolhapur, Sholapur and Tirupur, and on the north side, it came to Ludhiana. Now, cluster, if you talk about a cluster, today, textile manufacturing in terms of spinning, one of the major presence is Ludhiana and around. That's a cluster. So basically, it's a success story already existing if we open our, wisdom and really try to understand that. As far as the NGOs and the self-help groups are concerned, their agenda is different, you see. Their objectives are different. Their requirements are different. Here my requirements are that I should be able to put up a return on capital employed system type of an enterprise under the SME. Okay. Now, whether I can put up a Maruti model where it can be a very big thing, or it can be a small unit, but a number of them will develop. Somebody will come in the area which can be a textile. In textile itself, there can be different. I mean, one can be on a operational side, one can be on the supply chain side, one can be on spinning, one like that. So it can be different units can come up. Likewise in the bicycle manufacturing, the auto components manufacturing, like that. So this is the place where that type of, one of the very important things which positively is required for this type of thing is enterprising spirit. Jini Jaat Punjabiyan jo kutte nahi hai. Gal is sidhi. That is the type of the enterprising spirit which we need to bring. Passion, which Sridhar has been talking about the word passion. That passion comes from here. And that positively, for this particular region of India, we can positively emulate that. We can positively bring about that type of change.
Just a
Hello.
All the hospital industry is dependent on the labor from outside, from Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. So how to educate them or how to give them the skilled labor? We don't have such type of any institution or this policy of coal in Punjab. Or even government is not aware. And we don't have even the labor colonies for them to put them and train them and to give them.
Without naming,
problem is
let me not name the organization, but you are already aware that there are organizations in this state itself which have totally brought out a shift in labor component in the manufacturing process, having brought in women and the girls from the rural base, even in the second shift and the third type of shifts with special conditions and things like that. Number one. Number two, labor availability is going to be a challenge, much more challenge in the future. What we are talking about is deploying much less number of people, giving much higher productivity and much higher right first time type of work culture. And that will come from better skilling. If I can, the boys who are not interested in working in the fields, or the girls who are not interested in working in the field, or even if they are imported from other states, what's the issue? The issue is that I want to have better skilled person. The technology is going to change. The technology is changing so fast. I know about a particular unit being put up in Rajasthan of 40,000 spindle, where they have total automated system up to the automotive. That's from the fiber stage up to the yarn manufacturing. So it's a question of if one unit can run at 1/3 the manpower today, means what? It means certain amount of technological interventions are coming. And what we are talking about is the batch process manufacturing is going to cease. That's the future. If we talk about that type of thing, what does it mean? It means better skill of the people to be able to. You see, there are two components. In fact, today I was talking to somebody. I can have very high-tech machines to operate. But if I don't have the right person to operate this high-tech machine, how am I going to survive on that? Today, the great opportunity exists, you can call it, and great challenge exists, you can call it, for training the people to be able to catch up with the technology of the hardware and to be able to operate that.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I represent a very successful machine film cluster in Ludhiana. So this is something that has been promoted by UNIDO, and it is working under the International Program of Technology Upgradation and Productivity Enhancement Program. And at the end of the 1 year that we have been with this UNIDO, we have seen that no amount of vocational training will be successful until and unless at the end of the training program he earns enough to meet his expenses. It is getting less and less attractive. Manufacturing is the last resort of any engineering graduate. You will find it, I believe my did engineering in 1972. It was the case then also, and it is worse now. The lowest possible talent we have in our engineering sector. Unless and until we are able to increase our competitiveness, until and until we are able to produce mass products involving lesser labors, these solutions will not work. And that I have gone to Korea, we have gone to Sintos, and one unit we have visited there. Can you imagine milling machine that we make in Ludhiana? 25 people, if we employ them, they make 5 machines in 1 month. There 5 people are making 1.5 machines daily. Just imagine, the fellow is that one single worker is working on 5 machines and he is earning 1 lakh of rupees. That kind of things are going to attract people. See, if you pay lesser and lesser amount of money, this problem is always in the manufacturing sector. Until we are able to increase the competitiveness, until and unless we are able to pay our workers more and money, only then these vocational trainings will work. Whatever, see, ideas were created with this mission in mind that we are about to provide skilled labor to the market. But they failed. They were simply to get registered in employment exchanges. And I tell you, this program worked, that Maruti had just taken over certain ITIs. I tell you, Mr. Mahesh Minjal was on this exercise. I was the member along with you when this local ITA was handed over to the industry. And this did work. You just see the infrastructure there. This Maruti will have to invest crores of rupees just to bring those ITS to normalcy. No work is done being done. Even in the engineering colleges and all that, you are not providing vocational trainings. BSc engineering, I don't think people going to workshop training at all. They just get the degrees, they go outside and they are worth nothing. You can't employ fresh engineers into your manufacturing sector right away. He has to be provided vocational training also after getting a BSc degree in mechanical engineering. And this I can prove you. I have been working for the 35 years in the manufacturing sector. I represent Ludhiana Consortium of Ludhiana Machine Tool Manufacturer Association and Machine Tool in Ludhiana Machine Tool Industries. So I know the problem. And you won't believe that in Germany, we went there, there's a company called Southern. What they do is, they don't go for educated people, they go for dropouts. The people who don't go beyond 5th or 6th standard. They bring them to their workshops, they train them because they are able to study. Once a person goes beyond higher secondary, he will not rest there. He will go for higher studies, or he will not go for vocational training, that is for sure. Because he is not going to find it any less attractive enough. So this is for sure that even in Germany, this problem is there. And what they do is they bring people from nearby villages, they have their contact just like we have videos there, panchayat, you can talk to sarpanches. And there is one model that we are working on. We have 25 people and we are putting up a training center in the research and development the institute that we have in Ludhiana. We are donating 1 machine each. And now we are contacting local villages around Ludhiana and contacting people who are dropouts, contacting sarpanches, BDOs that give us students, we will train them. You want to leave that step, there is an organization here. They are prepared to give you training for just 1,000 rupees. 3 months course on a vocational training, but still they don't have people. People are not able to, they are not going to pay just 1,000 3-month training. They say, please bring 1,000 rupees. We will train you for 3 months in a lot of, they've got a lot of programs. But still, they have a lot of students. So this is a total mismatch, Mr. Bala. Something else has got to be done. This competitiveness, unless and their vocational training will not help.
Yeah, you see, Mr. Singh, thank you very much for, in fact, echoing what we are talking about in a different manner. Right? This is the need of the time, that's what you're saying. Thank you very much for supporting that particular view. What we are talking about, there is not one model on which this type of thing will work. There will be different models, they will be evolving. There's a ever-evolving process will begin. It has begun, in fact, already. I'll tell you that this client of ours, for whom we are doing this civil, on site, and Sridhar talked about that in Rajasthan he is putting up a pilot in the school premises which he has in the second part will do. The moment it came out and we were talking about on a different forum, a Korean company approached and said that they want 150 drivers trained for operating tillers and the heavy machine. They don't have that type of manpower. Now, in a humble way, very modestly, I'm submitting a very strong viewpoint to you, and that is that India is going to be the exporter of trained, skilled manpower to the developed countries. That's the scenario which is already happening. You talk about, what is vocation? We have to understand. If I go to a mechanic on the roadside to get my car repaired, or who are these people? They are either school dropouts, or it's a question of differently approaching the society in when we talk about K1 to K12, that band we are talking about, they are comprising of the dropouts as well as the people who are, maybe up to the school level. Maybe, I'm personally telling you, after doing my engineering, when I went to the first time to the mill, my complete understanding of operations came from a jobber, not from my professors, in the institute. And I had to humbly submit to that man who was wearing a, long kurta and chewing pan all the time, big pockets, and talking the typical language which is spoken on the floor. And I told him that, Balbanta ji, mere ko kaam seekhna hai aapse, and that's how I am here. I am not here to become the engineer in charge of the place. I have to really learn something. And I'm committing that my complete operations came from here. So positively, you see, a paradigm shift in our understanding. We have to find innovative ways even to bring the people for learning. That's also possible. So but the case exists, the opportunity exists. It's a question of how do we do it. We can do it on a pilot, we can do it on a mega scale. NCDC is there totally to support. Dilip Chinoy is a good friend of mine. He's the chairman of NCDC. And he, keeps telling, kuch karo na. Basically, enterprising spirit has to come out. It will positively. One model is UNIDO. Maybe you know what we're talking about. There will be other models. We are in touch with a Singapore institute who was the world #1 as far as the technology part is concerned in the construction sector. We are in touch with a mining college in Australia who are Germany. We are also, very strongly associated with a company known as GIZ. They are the government body for, it's a, you can call it an association of, the manufacturing organizations in Germany. And Germany, so basically, a textile, the best institute, I had the honor of being the chairman in India for this particular forum of this Indian section. They are ready to give us the complete theoretical certification and the accreditation of the complete courses on textile field. So another model can be, Mr. Singh, that I will go to a textile manufacturing company and say, okay, give me 10 of your workers for 3 months and this type of money you give me, I will improve their productivity level or quality way of working level to this particular extent. It pays back to them and they will be ready to give it. No issue of paying more for the organization if they can get more work and better quality of work from them. You go see China. I'm sure you must be aware if you are attached with UNIDO and things like that China does not believe in a reject piece in a manufacturing line. And it had been eye-opener during my visits when I saw that they say that, why reject? What is reject? I have trained my person enough and that person must pay back in case he produces a defect. So it's a question of paradigm shift in our own approach also, our own attitude. I feel. That's what our feeling.